Hello and welcome. I'm Tammy Braswell and I want to thank you for joining me. So I'm excited to have you here. I always do a little bit of technical stuff whenever I do live stream because it always seems like there's something crazy that goes on. So let me just check and make sure that everybody can see me okay. And so that's great. All right. It does appear that everybody can see me, or at least it shows that way. All right. So again, thank you for being here with me. I'm excited to talk to you about a powerful spiritual resource today that will give you access to so much information that has been available, but you might not have been aware of before. But let's begin before I get into all that information with just a little bit about me, because you may not be familiar with me or you may know me a little bit, and maybe something I share will be new. So I want to share why I love accessing and working with this powerful spiritual resource so much. Again, I'm Tammy Braswell, and I am the vibrational goddess. And I've been sensitive to energy, spirits, and unseen planes of existence since I was a very young child. So it was all really natural to me to experience all of this in my daily life. And through the ease of my own experiences, I became aware that is not necessarily the case for everybody else. And although we are all intuitive, we are all empathic, we are all channels, and we are all healers, because it is the very nature and essence of who we are as divine beings, we may not be aware of it. So it's not necessarily as natural and easy for many to experience themselves in this way as openly and as part of their daily lives as that I'm used to. So with this understanding, what I do is help others heal their past so that the painful parts can finally be released, to love their present, to connect with who they really are at soul level, and to design their future in this human reality the way they really want it to be. And how do we do that? It's with the energy that creates all things, our vibrational frequency from which we create our own lives, and an understanding of our soul's desired human journey so that you can create your life that you truly love, a life that you truly love, and live it every day with greater confidence and clarity in each moment. And this can be done by utilizing the Akashic Records, which is a very powerful way of doing that. So let me first share with you that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And this means that you have had access to spiritual resources on your human journey to be living it in the highest and best ways possible for you while you are here. So it's our conditioned, limited human perspective way of thinking that the only resources we really have access to support us while we're here is through our physical senses and in this physical world. There is so much more available to you in this very moment than you may even be aware of, but that's why we're here today. So you can become aware of it, and even if you are already aware of it, then to up-level it to up-level what you may already know. Sometimes I get a little tongue twisted there when I'm talking. So can you let me know if you can hear me okay and everything's good? I know sometimes with Facebook and audios, things come out a little wonky. So I'm attempting to look at the comments. I don't see any right now. All right. Let me just take a moment to play with my own electronics. Facebook is fun. I have to tell you that. Lately, they've been doing some crazy things, only letting you see comments that, happen a certain way or do a certain thing. So, all right, it does not appear to be working that way. I'm using a different, what's called Be Live, to see the comments. So give me one moment to just hop on Facebook over here to see if I can see the comments. Okay, wow, great. I do see comments, but I don't see comments anywhere else. So let's see how this goes. Okay, but no one seems to be hearing them while it's happening. So let's just keep going. All right, so before I begin, let me take care of a few general items just to do a little housekeeping. So first of all, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but let's wait until after I go through some of the main information, and then that way I can go through the comments a little more easily. And if you'll do me a favor, if you have a question, to put a Q next to it, and then I'll be able to really identify those as the questions themselves. And if it seems like I didn't catch it, just repost it. Again, Facebook seems to want to play with what it feels is most relevant in comments, and it keeps kind of hiding them. The second thing that I wanted to touch on is that this is a very high vibrational space that I've created for us to be in together. With this type of energy work, with connecting with spiritual resources like this, they are at a higher vibrational frequency. And so it's important that you stay well hydrated during the next 3 days, because when you're in this kind of energy with me, I know this, is that there's a lot going to be happening in your energetic field and your physical body to really absorb and integrate the information that you've received, and to have it go in and be something that you can work with. And it's important to stay well hydrated. So that will be happening for at least 3 days and up to 7 days. And if you watch this replay, which I'm going to have available till Saturday, and I'll tell you why it's till Saturday, but if you watch it again, start that 3-day point from the last time you watched it. All right? And I always like to offer a disclaimer. Everything I share is of an energetic, metaphysical, and spiritual nature, and it's meant to enhance your human experience while you're here, because again, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So if it's anything outside of that realm, then just understand that that's what I'm sharing with you is relating to. All right, and to really open up the space even more for you individually and as a collective of those who are watching live with me and who will be watching the replay, we're going to take a few intentional connecting breaths together. And I'm going to just share real quickly how we breathe that way so that you have the best connection. We're going to go ahead and inhale through our nose, and you put your attention on your heart area, imagining it opening up and becoming receptive to the information, to the energy that's available. And then exhale out through your mouth anything that feels heavy. And I invite you to close your eyes while you're doing this, so you go inward and can just really tune in to those breaths we'll be taking. So go ahead and close your eyes, and let's inhale through your nose, feeling yourself and your heart area opening up and becoming receptive. And exhale out anything that feels heavy, stressful, or tense. You can even blow and make a sound. And inhale again through your nose, expanding your heart area and becoming more receptive. And exhale out through your mouth, anything that's heavy, stressful, or tense. And one more, inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. All right, great. So as I mentioned, that powerful spiritual resource I'm talking about is the Akashic Records. And so you may have heard of them. Maybe you've even accessed them yourself, or maybe you've never heard anything about them. So wherever you are, it's perfect. So let's just talk about what they are. So the Akashic Records are part of the Akashic field, which is a very high vibrational dimension of consciousness that you could perceive as a hall of records or as a massive library. And within it is held all the information for each soul. and is accessible through their individual Akashic record. Now, these records have been referred to as the Book of Life in different texts and teachings. They include every word, deed, action, thought, intention that has ever occurred at any time through all of history since the beginning of creation for everyone and everything. Everything is energy, so every energetic aspect is recorded. Your specific record encompasses every detail of your entire soul's journey up until now, as well as all the possibility and potentiality of that which is yet to be experienced by you. So for a visual, because we are all aware of technology, right? And we're used to our cameras and that can record, and even for the last 20 some years, probably even before that. I think my dad had a video recorder when I was a kid. Imagine that a video recorder has been turned on from the very beginning of time. They had that technology higher up. And every lifetime you've ever lived, that your soul has chosen to live, including this one, every moment has been recorded. It just runs all the time and records everything. So if you wanted to reflect back upon any of it, it does exist, and you can access that information. And so it's just the way to do that is that it's at a different vibrational frequency than you are. So let me first, before I get into that, mention about vibrational frequency. I keep referencing it. So everything is energy. Everything's made up of energy. Energy vibrates at a frequency. So the higher the frequency, the less tangible it is to us. So radio waves, our cell phone waves or whatever they reference them, the 5G, 4G, all of that, we don't see it. That's high frequency. That's high vibrational frequency. Lower vibrational frequency is denser. So it's things like our body, the table, the chair. Those are all lower vibrational frequencies that we can touch more. And so when we want to get into something like a higher dimension of consciousness, that's going to be at a higher frequency. We don't just see it, but we're a part of it. It's all around us. We have access to it, but we have to get on the frequency of it. So we go up to its frequency. It does not come down to ours, just so you know. So why do you want to access the Akashic Records or access your Akashic Records, right? It's because they have all that information about you. I mean, anything you could ever want to know about who you have been in this lifetime, and we don't all remember every aspect or everything we've ever experienced, especially as small children. Most of us don't remember that, and it's in your record. And then what's in your record comes from every lifetime. And oftentimes I've met a lot of people who do spiritual healing work, and then they'll tell me, well, I still have this thing happening, and I've done all this work, and it's still occurring. And the thing is that we can't figure out where it's coming from or why it's still happening, or, what part of that haven't we healed? We've done this thing and that thing, and you'd think it would be gone by now. But it can stem from another lifetime. And I'm going to refer to them as other lifetimes, not as past lifetimes. You might be more familiar with the Akashic Record by hearing the term reincarnation. That's what I heard back when I was a teenager and first really consciously got interested in them. I've been moving in and out of them since I was a little kid, but I wasn't conscious the same way as when I became a teenager and heard about reincarnation, and it just resonated and I wanted to know more. And then people refer to it as past lives. I no longer refer to it that way because lifetimes I've gone into seem at similar times, so how can they be past? It's not a linear past thing, so I just refer to them as other lifetimes, as you'll hear me do. So when we can't figure out where something originated from in this lifetime, nothing makes sense, then it's likely that it originated in another lifetime and the energy is still coming here. That's referred to as karma, karmic, patterns or whatever you want to say. And karma is not good or bad. It is just the energy stream that is continued from an incomplete or incomplete, that's not right, incomplete experience from another lifetime. I can also want to go into them just to understand more about this lifetime and the experiences you've had that you may not easily remember, or to understand connections you have. Let's say you met somebody and you have a really strong connection. You're like, well, how do I feel like I know this person? Or you have discord in a relationship, which often comes as family members, children, spouses. Those are the people that we have been in other lifetimes with and have some kind of connection there that we've come together likely multiple times to work through, to heal, to be able to step into the energy of love with that other person, that other soul. I mean, we love each other as souls, but in the human experience. So being able to access that information and understand all of that can be very helpful, because then you're not confused. You're not wondering, why is this happening and I can't figure it out? So this is a great way to bring experiences to completion, to heal some of those things that you keep going over and over, patterns, same kinds of relationships. And you think to yourself, I'd really like to have this kind of relationship, but the pattern is I can't keep having this kind. Like, why is that? Well, it's associated with another lifetime. Your soul has journeyed throughout time, throughout this human experience, because in energetic form, it's love, it's light, it's everything's perfect. It comes here to have this human physical experience, to have the five senses, to be able to taste, touch, smell, see, hear, all that kind of stuff, to live through this body, to have contrasts, the highs and the lows, and to have thoughts and emotions. That's all part of the human experience that our soul does not have when we are just in energy form. So it goes through lifetimes to have experiences, to live fully through this human body. And it doesn't see anything as good or bad. That is a human perspective. So if it doesn't complete something by feeling satisfied with whatever it was, then it chooses to do it again once it transitions out of that human form. And it can do it eternally. I mean, it has no reason to end it. Our soul is eternal, so it can do this forever. And some of us think from a human perspective, oh, why does it want to? Because what does it do? That's a form of fast growth and expansion. As our soul is part of Source, Source continues to expand. Our soul expands, we expand. It's all about expansion, becoming more. And so through this human form, it's quicker for it to do that. It's from our human perspective, again, that we see the struggle, that we see we don't like things. But that's the contrast. That lets us know what we do want, what we don't want, and that pleasures our soul, because it allows that human part of us to live the human experience and reveal all that to it. So what can you do in the Akashic Records? Well, as I mentioned, you can go into other lifetimes and discover where stories started. Everything's a story. Just imagine a small story or a short story in time, which is time is human. So in those human experiences, and we can go in and we can change the energy of a story. So say you have a story of a situation in this lifetime relating to a certain person, let's say a love relationship. And there's just some stuff that goes on between you that you can't figure out. So you go into the lifetime where that originated, And you can shift that energy, which will shift the energy of this lifetime. Know that anything you do in any other space, because we are consciously functioning from this life, will shift this one. You can discover connections that have attachments to them. What I found doing this work, that when you do kind of view it as linear time, that often there were, you might be part of a harem or slave or captive in some way. So there's literally a person in your life that could have had power over you in another lifetime because of situations like that. And that energy still remains, and that's that feeling. So there's an attachment mechanism, if you will, a chain or a cord or something like that. And then you can also just understand what a story is and just become aware of it. Awareness is very powerful in itself. If we don't know something or we're not aware of it, we can't do anything with it. So when you become aware that this situation occurred, you can make different choices based on that, or even consciously just finish out an energy that's still influencing this life and satisfy your soul. Ultimately, it's all about satisfying your soul and the experiences it wants to have. So when you can connect this way, you can get more clear on what it is that your soul wanted you to experience and to heal it. That's the work that I do mainly in the Akashic Records, is to go in and to heal those situations and experiences that are still perpetuating and influencing this one. And I've gone into many of mine. And you can be different genders, different races, different ethnicity, sexual orientation, everything. Your soul wants a variety. And so you might find that you were a male in another life, or a female in another life, or lived in a different part of the world than you currently live in. I've had lifetimes of being, I had one where I was an apothecary, and ones where I've been prostitutes and witches, and lived in Western times and was very wealthy and prominent in the town I lived in. And they all had an influence in this lifetime, and that's why I went into them and did that work. Same with clients. I have seen some really interesting stories come out of client sessions that resonated with them when they heard it. It might have sounded unusual, or that, something that we wouldn't really think we were participated in, but when the details of it came out, that came from their own record, the healing that occurred has been amazing, profound, and powerful. So we all have access to this, to our own record. It's available at any time. It's just understanding how to access them, being able to go into them and then do the work in them that's available. You can also go into different other elements of what's possible for you in different situations like that, that once you get in there and start playing around with the energy and understand it and become comfortable with it, it's limitless what is possible for you. I had a client, and I'll just share one story, that I find a lot, there's social class differences in them when you comes to like love. One person is an upper class or a higher social class, and the other's a lower social class, and they can't be together for some reason. So I had this client who had this pattern going in her relationship. She's female in this lifetime, and she was tired of the pattern. She wanted it to shift, and she wanted it to shift with the person that she was currently with. So we went into the lifetime that it originated and found that she was a higher social class than the person she fell in love with. And she was a male in that lifetime, and it wasn't acceptable to the family for him to be with this girl that was just not the same social class. They wanted him to be with a female of the same social class that they felt was acceptable. And so the energy that she brought forth from that male lifetime was that you couldn't have the love you want. Love equals loss. Love is painful. So when you carry that energy and you wonder, why can't I have a loving relationship with someone else? It's because when you get into that loving relationship, that energy that's still upheld because it wasn't fully processed and experienced to your soul satisfaction. It's just, okay, we'll do this again until the human part gets the fullness of it too, is that it was painful. So there was always discord and issues and just couldn't be happy. And once we discovered that and we did healing work around it, it changed. It changed the feeling of that life. It changed her life now. And that relationship improved. And they're still together. They're happier than they've ever been. And it's all because of just shifting some energy that she had no idea existed or couldn't figure out, why did she have to keep living through the same things. So again, this is very powerful work and powerful opportunity through this, through your Akashic Record and what's available there. Now, there are parts of it to pay attention to that, you know, with everything that's of a higher nature, stepping into it, you have to be the person that can be in this energy. Now, it doesn't have to be complicated. As I mentioned, I've been accessing them since I was a little kid. I didn't realize it. And then when I was a teenager, I heard about Edgar Cayce and reincarnation. And back in the 80s, we didn't have the internet. So I went to the library and found a limited number of books that were written on reincarnation. They didn't reference the things that I've come to understand. And then as I went through time and continued to even just jump into my own Akashic Record and see stories and not completely understand them, but I understood the healing parts of them. A really huge story that related to my father in this lifetime that I had dreams and visions about since I was a little kid, and I couldn't figure out what it all meant. Kind of spontaneously sorted itself out, but now being able to consciously go in there and do what I want to do is much more powerful. And it took me time to understand what that was in the vastness of the information that's available there and what I was looking for, and I have an intention to go in and what was I going to do. I studied and read other people's books and information, and I was told I had to say prayers and do all these things to go into my record. And what I've come to know is that's not how I view how you can do it. It can be much simpler than that. Yeah, it takes practice. It takes time and commitment to go in and get used to them and to access the information, as all things do. And it's fun and it's enjoyable. And sometimes like a little startling on some of the stories that come forth, but you are an observer in them. You're not participating. You're just looking at the story of what happened through another version of your soul's chosen stories. And so there's no fanciness to it other than just matching up with the vibrational frequency. And once you do that, then it's easier to access them. It's easier to go in and to do the work that you want to do and to explore what's possible for you. Even though I can mention my experiences, again, it's limitless what you may be able to experience or what you might be called to. I never really thought I'd ever teach about the Akashic Records. I used them as part of the work I do with clients. I work with them myself to do my own healing work. And to understand relationships that I have and different reasons like that, but I never really thought about sharing them until last year. I was guided to how powerful and important it is, and that it's the time for that. What I've come to know um, is that there is a new Akashic field. I've heard a few people mention something in regards to that. Not a lot of people, but there's a new Akashic field. We're moving into higher dimensional energy. I'm sure a lot of you have heard that. And with that, the higher frequency is a new field. The field that we have now, the Akashic records we have now, are very heavy. They're filled with the repetitive patterns of the collective and of each of us. The same, we've heard through history repeats itself. So we just keep doing things over and over as a collective. And it's time is done. It's time to step into this new, higher vibrational, dimensional energy we can be living in. But we have to do something with this. We don't just step out of it and done. We have to work through our own stuff. And as each one of us closes out the stories in our Akashic record, brings them to completion, think of them as being archived and tucked away and never having to be accessed again. They are no longer necessary. We actually will receive open a new Akashic record in the new field and start fresh from that. And so, it's a beautiful time to be consciously in the human form and to understand this. So this is a very powerful time, because as each one of us heal our stories and close them out, we also uplift and close out a lot of the stuff that has gone on in the collective, so that it can all be brought to completion. The karmic cycles that we keep going through. And so now is very important for each of us to do this work. And that's why I've been shown to share it. And so I'd like to do that and offer that to you as well. I have created a program that allows you to access your Akashic records. It's called the Key to Your Akashic Record. Unlock the stories of your soul's journey and heal your past program. And it is a self-paced work, is on your own schedule, your own time as you move through it and feel into it, step into it in your own way. It includes 5 guided audios. First is an instructional audio that provides you with the information you need to understand more of what I've briefly shared here, along with accessing and working with your record. There's 2 activations. An activation is basically I've opened the energy that you can step into to turn on in you what's already there and make it easier for you to step into it for yourself. So the first one is to access your Akashic records, specifically yours, with ease. And then the other is to access your guide or guides who will assist you in accessing the information that you're looking for. You're not just going in and doing this yourself. You will have a guide or guides that will specifically help you find what you're looking for, which makes it so much easier. Once I understood that my guides, they were a collection of what I called the Trinity. There were 3 of them that assisted me. And at this point, I don't specifically call upon them, and they may or may not still be providing me with the information, but they were there and helped me to understand what I was looking for and to help me find it. And there's other beings in the Akashic records that you'll hear about in the instructional audio that also assist you in there and keep your record safe. Unless you give someone permission to go into your record, they cannot. There's a level of integrity and vibrational honesty, if you will, in the records. And so they're not just open for everybody to go. This is the most intimate, private information about you. It's who you are at soul level. It's everything about you. So it's very held sacred. Then the next audio is the healing work that you can do in your Akashic Records. Now, what I share with you is the work that I do through rewriting stories, through understanding the attachments that are in them, or just having an awareness of them, and whatever intuitively comes up that may want to be shifted. And you will likely discover your own ways of doing things. It could be that you go off in a certain direction of some other work in the Akashic Records that you weren't even aware of, but that you're tuned into, and this is just the step and opening that takes you there. And the last audio is the guided journey. I take you into the Akashic Records because, again, it's a vibrational shift, so you'll prepare yourself to go higher vibrationally and take you through the library and how to access your record. And over time, you can continue to listen to it, or you will get used to just going into them on your own. I literally can sit here, and if you ask me a question, or if I'm working with a client, say it wasn't even focused on just the Akashic Records, it was something else we were doing, a lifetime can just come in out of nowhere and I have access to it. So, and there's also a couple of bonus audios included. One is advanced work. You can also go into your Akashic Record once you get used to it and comfortable with doing the work there, and find out what your theme for this lifetime is. So we have a theme energy. It may be to be more patient or more loving, or something. You probably have a pattern of some kind of experience that you notice, not necessarily with others, just yourself. Like, we'll take patience, for example. So you're always in a hurry, you always want things to happen overly fast and all of that. So your soul has a theme for the lifetime of being more patient. And you can find out what that is, you can reveal it, and then understand how to work with it to actually shift it and have it work for you in this lifetime. And then also to access your guides for this lifetime with more ease. I know we all like to tune into our guides, and you can do so through the Akashic Records. They come in at certain points in your life, and get to know them and how they communicate with you and what they look like, and what their job is on your guide team, and what they're here to really assist you with, and be more clear on that. And then I created an exercise called the Doors to Possibility, consciously stepping into the next level of your life. And that's a guided audio as well that assists you. And we have a path of probability that we're on. Energetically, there are paths of possibility that we can move into if we're aware of them. So with this guided audio and exercise that I share with you, that I channeled, it will take you into a space where you can actually choose a different door of possibility and move from the probability path you're on to a new possibility that then becomes your probability path, if that all makes sense there. It does in the audio. So normally this program is $297, and it is an abundance of information and is powerful in what it'll share with you. But as you all know, I don't really like the term Black Friday. It just doesn't resonate with me. But this is a holiday week that we like to have those special sales in. So I wanted to join in, and felt like the best time to share the Akashic Record accessing program with you. So starting tonight at midnight and until Saturday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm offering the program at 66% off, so it's only $99 for the next several days. And you can start accessing your own Akashic Records. And I'm excited to share that with you. And since you're here with me live, and before we get into, I get into answering any questions that you may have, go ahead and I'm opening it up to you now at the $99. So I have this cool little feature on this app that I'm using to do the live. I'm not doing it straight through Facebook. So the cool thing is I can put on the screen the link to go to the special page that I have available with you or for you. So actually, I don't see it on the Facebook. So I see it on my screen, but not on the Facebook screen. So I will add it to the comments. If you want to get in on the special $99 offer, you can go to, I'll type it now. And I've inserted it in the comments. If you want to go there. Apparently my little thing is not as cool as I thought if you can't see it. Oh, wait, there it is. It's just delayed. I'm sorry. All right, so I guess it does work a little better than I thought. Okay. It is showing up on Facebook. Well, then mine was delayed. But okay, so it's in the comments or it's here. I know you can't click on it on the screen, but I believe you can click on it in the comments. Oh, no, not if I don't type it correctly. Don't you love these lives? Technology is so much fun. It really is. Okay. There. So I fix it. Okay, now it's there. All right. So if you're interested in the program, it will be on sale. My Black Friday special. And from now, since you're here, from now until Saturday at 11:59, so you can get it for the $99. It's well worth the $297. I know I've taken a lot of programs and read a lot of books, and everything I create from the way that I do it and from the ways that seem simplest and most understandable, not complicated, not trying to get into, a lot of hoopla that sometimes happens. I know that with spiritual work, often we like to make it like it's really grandiose, but we are a spiritual being having a human experience. And the thing is that this part is natural for us when we allow it to be. So I want you to have this to be more natural for you too. All right. So now that I've shared all that, are there any questions? I do see comments. Let me see if I can see them all, because again, it's always the relevant. Let's see. I can see. Oh, thank you, Colleen, for sharing that. All right, so it says there's several comments, but I only see like 4. How long do you have to access it? Do you mean access the sale, Elizabeth, or access the program? The program you have access to once you purchase it. You have access to it. It's actually on my new system, so it's all already set up, and you have access to it for as long as you want to access it. Anytime you want to access it, you just go back, log in, and it'll be there. And if I add anything to it, update it, anything like that, you just get the latest updates. Sometimes I'm intuitively inspired to, go and add something new or to revise something as it comes to me that way. So to the program, yeah. Yeah, you have access to it anytime. I know you've been in a membership, which is a monthly thing. Now, when I offer a program like this, it's lifetime. If I move it or do anything with it, then you would be notified to have access to wherever it is. But yep, it's yours. I know I'm a person, I've purchased programs and then I don't go and do anything with them for a while. I'm like, where did that program go? So I'm very conscious, like I said, of everything that I do. I always work to have it be equivalent to what I would want if I was experiencing it, receiving it, purchasing it, whatever that is. It's what would I want. That's important to me. So are there any other questions? You can ask me anything about the Akashic Records if you have them, or whatever while I'm here. I won't keep you much longer. And again, this replay will be available, as far as I know, technology-wise, until Saturday. So you can re-listen to this. Of course, this link will take you to the sales page that has details of what's included, and so you can look it over. I'm a person who likes to look at things, not just hear them, but to visually see them too. So you're welcome, Elizabeth. And again, I can only see a few comments. So if you happen to have asked a question before, I see Elizabeth right now. So Elizabeth, you are relevant to what Facebook thinks I should see. So, okay, very cool. So the way that I would explain it is vibrationally you match up with the records. You go into the record, and I guide you through how to go into the record. You'll have had the activations to enter with ease, so there's nothing you have to say special or do anything. You just go through the process. I take you vibrationally into the records. You'll have activated your connection to your guide or guides, and then basically imagine them being there and going into the Hall of Records with you. However you want to imagine it. I imagine our records as giant old books that are actually magical. There's nothing on the page until you invite it to come in, and then it comes on to the page. And you go in, and it's intuitive. You let your guides share the information with you. You let them know what you're looking for. So say, okay, I'll share a lifetime with you that I looked at. So I do energy healing work, coaching, energetic coaching, and all of these things. And I find herbology fascinating, herbalism. And, but I thought, I cannot do that. I cannot be telling people what herbs to take or consume. I just couldn't do that. I could do it for myself and maybe people close to me, and I was like, well, why would that be? So I went into a lifetime that I was an apothecary, an older guy, a little skinny guy, because you can, depending on what you want to see and what you can tune into, it expands over time the more you do it. And I had a shop, and I was an intuitive, and people it seemed like a while ago in time, and my customers would come in, and I would provide them with the herbs and intuitive guidance on what was going on. And there was someone that I was helping to transition. He was obviously sick enough that he was going to pass. And after he passed, his sister came into my little shop and freaked out on me and got upset and basically said I killed her brother, and I had just helped him. He knew what was happening, and I knew what was happening, but that traumatized me in that lifetime, and I pulled back. I stopped helping anyone at that time and turned it off. So as soon as I got that story, I was like, that makes complete sense. And I haven't really gone into it now, but if I did, I would not be worried about that, because that I healed that energy, that story that I brought with me. So it comes intuitively, it comes as stories, it comes through information. Again, with all that I share with you in the program, it will guide you into understanding. It might take a moment depending on where you are in your sensitivity and your openness. sometimes I've had students who get a little hesitant or they're not sure what they're going to see, and it takes a little bit of time of going in and kind of feeling into it, coming out, and then going in. And so to me, it's go in with curiosity and as an observer. Whatever happened in another lifetime was that story. It's not, who you necessarily are now. It's a part of the energy of your soul, but you can just look at it and see how it relates to what you're experiencing now and work with that energy. Does that answer your question? Oh, thank you, Betty. Are there any other questions or need any elaboration? I mean, I find them to be amazing and fun. Edgar Casey used to go in and do healing work, and he did it spontaneously. That's the description. That could just be the condensed form or easiest way to say. But it's been very powerful for me and for everyone that I've done any work with in them. And like I said, we are in a very heavy energy of our current Akashic record and Akashic field. And we're at a place where it's just time that we shift that. And so empowering individuals to go in and do this work. I mean, I do sessions and I help those who want me to go into lifetimes. And sometimes, in that I'm helping to guide them because there have been lifetimes where someone has taken another life or been violently killed or accidentally been participating in like a sibling who died or something like that. And sometimes that can be a little bit for a person who's not used to going in. But I also know that you're not shown anything that you are not ready to see. There can be layers and other stories you need to go through before you get into that one. But you'll be okay to go through it. You'll be ready to go through it. Might just be like, oh, I didn't know my soul chose that experience. But it's just part of what makes you you. Yeah, what I find is you see the snippet of the story. You don't know the whole thing. It's like just taking the piece out that relates to the question you have. And you see what you need to see. And you work with that energy. And that's it. It's that you don't have to see everything. It's just about that space. Well, it depends on what your soul wants you to experience as to if there's other steps to the process, if I'm understanding you. You'll go in, you see that part of the story, and then, like I said, the ways that I do it are rewrite the energy. That spontaneously was shown to me. I was sharing a story with a client, and I was like, okay, I always just ask, how do we shift it? How do we change the energy to the now? Because you changed the energy now. All right, well, we rewrite the story. Okay, how do we want to rewrite the story? We understand what the story was. How do we want to rewrite it? And then basically it's like, that's the story now. That's the energy of that story now. Or you release whatever that is. I had someone who kept being with a person in this lifetime, and it was, as much as she wanted to, it was like she was drawn to him and couldn't break free. But their relationship had so many issues. And we found that there was an attachment over her shoulder, and that he had owned her, that he had, had her in different ways that were kind of a bond, I'm going to say bondage type feeling, where he had control over her in those lifetimes, those periods. And when I told her about the cord that I saw, she was like, that's strange. I always have issues with the shoulder. And then she told me what it looked like. I always let person participate. So what did it look like? What did it feel like? And then she removed it, and she was able to end that relationship. That's what she had wanted to do. And for like 20 years she wasn't able to, and she finally was able to end that relationship and go on to being a new one she is happy in. And then sometimes it is just being aware of it and going, okay, so I can understand why that exists, what those choices were, and choose something different. It's very powerful and amazing, and we all have access to it. We don't have to, I mean, it's ours. It's our story. It's our stories relating to our soul, and it's there for us. So I get really excited about the possibilities in it. Yeah, I always ask. That's why we have that support. So your guides will help you to understand, what do you want to do with it? What's the best way? And you can feel into it. This enhances your intuition too, and your connectedness to, understanding that your soul has chosen these things throughout time. And it might not be from your human perspective you would have chosen that, but you understand. And I had a woman who had an eye injury, and in another lifetime, she was an Indian warrior, a Native American Indian warrior, and big, powerful man, and was out in the woods hunting. And another tribe's teenage young boy who was just discovering and learning how to shoot a bow and arrow and to hunt for his tribe, shot an arrow, and it went right into her eye. This was the story I saw, and killed her. And so she also, the energy of like shock lingered. Strong warrior, could kill everybody and every animal, and was, the top of the warrior chain, was taken out by this young, inexperienced kid. And that energy lingered there. And the condition she had in her eye improved immensely. It just was amazing. Every story that comes to me with someone, sometimes I hesitate and go, can I tell someone that? Now I'm talking about going into other people's lifetimes. It's most important at first that you go into your own, that you do this work in your own, and then ultimately either explore doing it in others for yourself, or I'm considering seeing if intuitively that's something that I will eventually add as an option as well, as to go into others. But right now I'm guided to support you in doing your own work and doing the healing work. I work with so many people who are still talking about all this healing work they feel they have to do. Go to the source of it, figure out where that is, and then do the healing work. And that story's complete. Your soul's done bringing it forth and doing it again and all that kind of stuff. And that's powerful to me. And I know it's been powerful in my life, and I know it's been powerful in others. And so I want to share that, and I'm being strongly guided to do so. So here I am. All right. Are there any other questions? That's awesome, Elizabeth. That's so excited. Thank you. All right. Remember again that this special is available until Saturday at 11:59 p.m. It's my little before Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving special. Because I know everybody gets busy with lots of other things, so I want to give a little time, and I'm activating it early for you all who are here with me. That's great, Sherry. Yeah, it's a lot of people have heard about it, and so I think at $99. It's even if that's your introduction and you go on from there, I think that's really that's why I'm inspired to do it too. I'm even at the $297. I base things on like different experiences I've had. To me is an easy yes anyway, but at $99, it's like it will help you to do a lot in your Akashic Records, and then see where you're guided from there, and just in your own ability, or maybe another information, or what might open up for you. So I believe there are no accidents. So even just listening to this is we put requests out to the universe. Say, I want this, I want to do something or change something, and then opportunities show up. And then we consciously say, is this an opportunity that reflects something? Will it help me get to a place I want to be? And then we make the decision from there. That's what I've come to know over the 20 years, 30, well, probably 20 years that I've really been actively purchasing programs myself. But that's how I make the choice. Does it help me to get where I want to go, even in this moment? And then things open up as you up level and go different places. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. All right. Are there any more questions? Again, I recognize there's a little bit of a delay. Apparently, I didn't even realize that my thing was working right. Put the little banner on there. Yeah. This is not my strong place. I mean, I can do it, but I just love the energy stuff. This is all the technical part of everything, of sharing it with everyone else. You can share this with anybody you want, Sherry, and that's greatly appreciated. Yes. Like I said, the more of us that do the work, we up level. And then when we up level, we get to eventually go into the higher Akashic field. And eventually, I actually have something around that, but this work had to come first. I was guided to, this work must come first. And then we'll move into that. But yeah, this is very powerful. And I love it. And I've talked to you enough. I'm sure that you will love it too. And the fun, it's like an adventure to go in there and see what is it? Where did this thing come from? To have a place to go to know why this thing is happening. Why, I have gone in and connected with my exes and present and done energy work. And okay, so I could even tell another story. So I was a prostitute in a lifetime. There's power in that, by the way. And the guy that I've been with for many years in this lifetime, we've had our stuff we worked through, was in love with me in that lifetime and wanted me to stop the work I was doing. And I went in, and in that lifetime I chose not to, but I went in and shifted it and chose to do that. And oddly enough, I had purchased something in this lifetime that he had asked me to, and he was going to pay me for it. And he handed me money in my room. And when he handed it to me after I did the clearing work around that lifetime, he giggled and he goes, "This feels really strange." And that just made me laugh because I knew what I had done. And he'd handed me money before when I've gotten him things that, like buying something on Amazon, he wanted me to order for him, and he'd just pick it up and things like that. So that just made me laugh at that, you just can't make those things up, and how much evidence that was that there had been a shift there. So it's fun, it's amazing, and I'm thrilled that I can access it, and I think that everyone should be accessing their own. I don't usually use that word should. I don't have another word right now, but should be aware of it and be accessing theirs. I'm happy to support and help you with it if you need it, but it's something I know you can do because it is yours. It's your stories. So it's there for you. All right. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye now. I'm glad you're all here with me. You intuitively knew it was coming. There you go. Again, no accidents, perfect timing. It's just that human part of us that has to say, do I recognize this as the opportunity I've asked for, or am I going to wait for a different one? That's the choice. Sometimes I've waited for different ones, and it's still available, even if you don't get it during the sale, but heck, why not, right? I'm offering it, so if you're ready to say yes, this is a good time to say yes. And just like, all the other sales everybody offers right now, it's like, I wanted that item or I wanted that thing. Now's a good time. That's the universe going, hey, look, it's even at a special price. So, all right. Well, thank you again for being here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. This will be available until Saturday, so you can look at it, listen to it. If you're sitting there taking a moment to think about it, feel if it resonates with you, whatever you do on your end spiritually, saying yes and jumping in. If that is something that you're guided to do, then do it. If it's something you want to think on a little, that's good. Like I said, it's not a huge investment. It's but it'll change your life. So that's priceless in itself. All right. Well, thank you so much. And if you do ask a question, tag me so that hopefully Facebook lets me know somebody asked me a question. All right. I'll glance over it though and see if I can see the comments. It says there's 30. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and there's no option to see more. So just letting you know. Okay. Thanks again so much for being here with me. Those of you who have purchased the program and what comes after it, that's great. So thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, everyone. That's who I've seen. So thanks. If you want to share this, great, sharing it. I think they're trimming my tree outside finally. So, all right, I'm going to go check on that. Thank you, Dorothy, for being here. Thank you, everybody. And I love you all. And I'll talk to you in some form soon. Thank you.